gestern nämlich geschnitten.
Matthias,
Ja?
es tut mir leid, dich unterbrechen zu müssen, aber ich würde gerne jemanden ankündigen.
Was ist ja da?
Und zwar hätte ich jetzt auch wirklich gerne hier auf der Bühne James Masters. Okay. I know there's going to be a lot of questions from the audience.
Listen out, I'm a lazy bastard.
Well, I do have a question. Before we start with the audience, just for my curiosity, which one of the cameos, the many cameos and genre series you did, was your favorite? Please say Torchwood.
Torchwood. I like to play any character that tries to ruin the day of the lead character. That's my favorite character. The thing is
Did John Cameron ever, the guy stealing my show? Who cast him?
no, John is not worried about that. No. The thing is, when you're filming in Hollywood, whether that's in Wales or wherever it is, you have to be so polite to the lead. You know, it doesn't matter how nice they are. John Barrowman is the nicest guy in the world. But everybody all day long is saying, "Oh, have my water, sir. Oh no, take my chair, sir." And I'm like a punk rocker. I'm like a subversive. And so if someone has a lot of power, I just want to rip them down. And so I like to play a character that when they call action, I just get to eat them alive. And so I'm very lucky.
And many people love to cast it as just that character. So, questions from the audience?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start. Just come forward. Okay, a music question. Great start. What are your favorite punk bands? And are there some that have influenced your own band, your own music?
I don't know. I guess, you know, I don't think that Nirvana is technically punk. It's kind of post-punk. But they, the kind of chord progressions that Kurt Cobain uses influenced me a lot. Not lyrically, but the chord progressions themselves. But I'm like really old school punk, so for me it would be the Sex Pistols, the Ramones. Definitely the Clash. I saw the Clash in 1979 at the Cow Palace in San Francisco, right? And I was 17 or 18 years old. I was in high school, and we were drinking on the grass before the show. And we finally would get in, and I'm drunk, right? But I snuck a little bottle of tequila. I think it was tequila in my boot, which you could have been thrown out on your ear for trying to do that, but I got it in there. And the Dead Kennedys were playing as a warm-up to the Clash, and I was so drunk. I clearly remember Jello Biafra taking off his clothes and dancing around the stage, and I didn't remember that. And then all of a sudden, and my friend put a bunch of caffeine pills in the palm of my hand, and I took them, and they did nothing. Yeah, but then I remember, out of my dream, and now the Clash. And the whole place just erupted in a riot. And the caffeine pills took effect, and it was like up like that. And we were up in the balcony, and there was a sea of people on the floor, right? And they're all, like, before the mosh pit was pogo dancing, right? Which is just jumping up and down, and one side was going this way, and like 2,000 people were going this way, 2,000 people were going that way, and down the center it was just violence and chaos, and sweat and blood. And I'm looking at this, and I decide that I'm going to go down the center of the group, and I'm going to throw my bottle of tequila up at Joe Strummer and see if he wants some. And I did. And I just pelted, bam, 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 and I was so happy, I did not care. And I got up there, got about 5 rows from the front, took the tequila out of my, and just lobbed it up on stage. And Joe thought that they were going to be pelted with bottles a lot, because that happens in punk rock. You just get, you know, like the Sex Pistols had to have a screen at it sometimes. And so Joe was like, 1, and he was counting off the next song, right? He goes, 1, 2, 3, what the fuck? And then he noticed that the bottle was still full. And he thought, and he realized, no, this is a gift. It's not a weapon. It's a gift. And he just goes, who did this? And I kind of went, he was like 17 years old. He was like, thanks, mate. And he took a swig, and he threw it around the band. They all took a swig out of it. By the time the band got done with it, it was empty. They threw it down on the floor and continued. At which point I decided that I was best friends with Joe Strummer. I tried to get backstage. I decided that they want to meet me, of course. So I tried to get backstage. I made it like 1 step beyond the tape, and 2 huge guys picked me up and threw me out in the ring. That was the end of it. Oh yeah, and we destroyed the Cow Palace. Like the Cow Palace is a sports arena, and they have a floor that they roll out over the sports arena. For concerts, this wooden floor, right? But it's 5 feet off the floor, so it's like a big trampoline. And we had like 4,000 people pogoing on it all night, and we destroyed it. And they didn't let another rock band in that venue for 10 or 20 years.
Thank you so much for that question. Let's go.
Punk is alive in Germany.
Achtung, Achtung, Durchsage. Der kleine Jake Orlando ist verloren gegangen und möchte bitte eine Information in Foyer abgeholt werden. Weil der kleine Jake Orlando ist verloren gegangen und möchte bitte eine Information in Foyer abgeholt.
Someone lost their child. Jake Orlando. So, well, thank you for the question. Let's continue about Jake Orlando.
Do you have some plans for the future? For the future? Some project?
Yes. I have a movie coming out called Dragon Warriors, which is like, it's a comedy. It's like Princess Bride, but with a lot of special effects. A lot of big dragons and beasts and magic and fire and stuff. And I play a wizard who gets his heart broken, so he trains a dragon to light anyone on fire and kisses anybody. It's the bad guy. And then another movie called Abruptio that won't be out for another probably 1.5 years because they've got a lot of post-production to do on that. Yeah.
Okay. Another question for her? Cute enough? Good.
Okay, and my friend asked me, how did it feel on the... Oh, wait. Who was on the set by Buffy?
Who was on the set?
What was like in the set of Buffy?
What? Oh, what was it like on the set of Buffy? Wow. It was... Okay, first of all, we were known as Buffy the Weekend Slave. Because we worked more hours than any other television show in town. Like, on television, you always work 12 hours a day. Never less, never more. Never less because they have to pay the crew for 12 hours no matter how long you go. So they always go 12 hours. But if you go more than 12 hours, they have to start paying the crew double. So you never go past 12. But Buffy never went less than 14 hours. We went 14 to 20 hours a day, right? We would start at 4:30 in the morning on Monday, and we would only end our week when the sun came up on Saturday night. So there were a lot of people in Hollywood that would not work on the show because we were known for long hours. And by the way, nobody worked harder than Sarah. Like Sarah was in most scenes, so they toasted her. She was burned. She would actually, she had such a good makeup person that no one realized how tired she was. But she would go, when they released her, she would go specifically and wash the makeup off her face and then come back to say goodbye to the producers just so they would have to admit what they were doing to that beautiful young woman. They're like, I'm dying. So, like, we were tired. There are levels of fatigue that I've never felt. Like, I went 5 levels past anything I've ever been again in my life. So that's my main memory, is just working really hard and being really tired. I was boring. I was like, there's a film that is made for the cast party, right? So it's all the goofy stuff that the cast does in between the takes, right? And the little tricks we play on each other. And I was never in these films. And I finally went to Joss Whedon, and I asked him, like, what, I'm not funny? Like, you don't like me or something? And he goes, no, James, you're never in this little movie because you're boring. He said, for 7 years, you do the same thing at the end of every take. You look down, you make sure you're on your mark, then you go to your chair, you get your script, and you study your lines. That's all you ever do. But when I call action, it's like I've released a panther from a cage, so don't change anything. But no, you're boring, so. Oh my God, you're so cute, but I can't. My wife told me that I have to stop hugging pretty girls.
Okay. Lovely Felicity.
Would you consider playing in something more romantic like Vampire Diaries or what do you think of vampires shining in the sunlight?
What do you think about the more romantic vampires of today? Twilight, sparkling in the sunlight, Vampire Diaries. It's not very punk rock, is it?
I don't have any specific problem with people changing what vampires are. Like, the cool thing about vampires is they can almost be anything. You have Anne Rice vampires, you have like Buffy vampires, you have Nosferatu. Oh my God, so cool. Every generation can like rewrite a vampire character. They can be almost anything. But the Wolfman has to always be a good man who is turned into a beast by the moon. The Wolfman can never be a jerk to begin with, right? The Invisible Man has to be a jerk because it's not interesting. If the nice guy's invisible, what's he going to do anyway? But if like a jerk is invisible, it's like, oh wow, that's exciting. Frankenstein has always got to be a childlike character, right? He's always got to be kind of innocent, and then he gets pelted with something, and he goes, like a child. But a vampire could be, anything. For me, though, as long as it's well written, then it's good. I'm gonna go there, man. What I will say is that I don't think that there will be anything that overtakes Buffy until Joss Whedon writes vampires again.
Es hat sich tatsächlich schon vorab jemand gemeldet, seine Frage sozusagen voranzumelden.
Hi, would you sing something for us?
How many people were here yesterday? Okay, This is a song that I wrote. Where are you? Oh, there. This is a song I wrote in Romania. I was filming a cowboy movie about a cowboy that leaves town to go fight in the Indian Wars, which were a horrible part of American history where white people went and just burned whole villages. It was terrible. And he promises his love that he would return, but he never did. And I wrote a song about it. And this song, actually, you can get this off one of Ghost of the Robots albums called Murphy's Law. You can download it right now if you have a phone. It's called Cowboy Song. Well, I'm alone in Avram with my lady by my side. After wars, I left her, and now she's come to watch me die. She's a flower in the sun, and now she's crawling through the mud. 'Cause of me, 'cause of me. My heart was sick from killing engines with their babies in their